I personally feel like she is the oracle of the Cobbles.
Okay.
Welcome back to Why Won't You Watch Corrie, the podcast where I try to convert my sister Vic to Coronation Street. I'm Emily, and I'm still very emotionally invested.
And I'm Vic. I'm holding steady at 0.5 on the Corrie Conversion Scale. Don't see me moving anytime soon.
Interesting you say that, Vic, because I've actually converted someone this week.
No, you haven't.
I have.
Oh, outside this podcast?
Obviously, it's not you. Yes, outside this podcast.
Oh, yeah. Still feels a bit illegal.
It's some grassroots campaigning right there.
So, tell me, who is it?
It's my friend Lauren. She's fully on board, watching episodes, sending theories.
So, in this whole thing, I'm now losing.
I wouldn't say that. I'm just saying that other people are progressing faster than you are.
Well, not sure I like it, but currently I'm okay with it.
Okay. Well, for anyone new, I started watching Coronation Street this year because of the Corrie and Emmerdale crossover. I stayed for Swala, and now apparently I'm running a small but growing Corrie recruitment agency.
Is this getting kind of cult adjacent?
Vic, it's called Community, please.
Sure.
Anyway, Vic, since hitting 0.5, have you had any thoughts on Corrie this week?
Honestly, no. Only when you text me about it, which is every day there's an episode.
That's momentum.
It's mild curiosity and wanting to reply to your texts.
That's how the conversion begins. Anyway, this week we have suspicious behaviour, arguments, chaos. The tallies are strong. The awards are looking great. We've got 2 new segments.
Saying this like it's a good thing.
Vic, I just feel like this could be a you going up to 1 kind of week.
I don't like how competitive you've just become, Em.
All right, here we go. Buckle in. Let's go.
Oh, God.
All right, Vic. This week in Corrie.
Hit me. What have we got?
It was only a 4-episode week this week, so
okay.
You'd think I'd have less to tell you, but I've actually still got a fair amount. There's quite a few little storylines happening. We're going to start with number 1. It's a fan favourite. It's an Emily favourite. It's Swala. We had Lisa and Carla in this week, and they haven't really been in actually since we started the podcast.
Okay.
So they started busy planning their wedding. That was their big storyline thus far, and you know, they have a little talk about it. But the main thing that happened with the Swala family this week is they woke up on Monday to a baby on their doorstep. Which, for anyone who's not watching, Vic's face was a picture right then. And the silence that we just heard was her unable to process the words.
Yep. Yeah, that's correct. Yep. Very confused.
So there's a baby on the doorstep. The baby turns out to be Carla's niece. So basically, the baby's parents are both in prison. Carla's brother and the prison and the baby mama, who I know this because of my TikTok. But basically, the baby mother was a prison guard who slept with him whilst the brother was who was in prison.
Ooh.
There was a whole storyline last year with a kidney transplant. But basically, they've called this baby Connie, which is interesting to me. That it's an interesting name choice because if the baby has the dad's surname, then the baby is called Connie Connor, which seems like something you would have thought about before you named your kid Connie. But I also don't know if they've gone with Connor as the surname because they've not specified what this baby's surname is, but my assumption would be Connie Connor.
It is now.
So, yeah. So the storyline this week is basically this baby appears on the doorstep. They bring it into the house. The nan has dropped this baby off. She's got to have a small procedure, and she needs someone to look after the baby while she's in hospital. Apparently there was nobody else that she knew that knew the baby that could look after it. So she gets dropped on the doorstep. Lisa's all up for it, decides to look after it. Carla took a little bit of time to come around to it. Basically, it turned out that she obviously is very mad at Rob for past things that Rob has done. She reveals some of her past history. Trigger warning, there was a miscarriage in the past, which I don't know if it was within Coronation Street, because it was 11 years ago. This, apart from that, on the side of that, them trying to adapt to having the baby is quite comical, and you see Carla go from being like holding it out in front of her like a football or whatever to then like cuddling her and, you know, whatever. And then there's like a really funny scene where like all the Weatherfield residents like come around to help out and like lend them clothes, push chairs, like teach Carla how to cradle the baby properly and stop her crying. But at one point someone comes around with a pushchair at 6 o'clock in the morning just because they saw the lights on. If I saw the lights on at a neighbour's house at 6 a.m, I still would not be knocking on the door. I thought that was a little bit inappropriate. But knocks on the door, comes in with the pushchair, and he goes, "I've bought you something." And Carla goes, "Not another one." And it was really funny. Because like,
not another baby.
Yeah, because she presumed it was another baby. Right. It was not another baby. Great. But yeah, the Weatherfield residents, super supportive, super lovely. And actually, what I have learnt from this storyline is Carla's quite funny. She had quite a few like one-liners. And then also like really that's the storyline. Towards the end of the week, they get a bit more tired and like snippy, but that's it.
Life with a baby.
It was just lovely. Yeah, it was just a lovely little episode, a lovely little storyline.
I do have one more follow-up question.
Go.
You say they woke up to a baby. Left on their doorstep, no. Did the mum knock and was like, "Here, take the kid"? Or
yeah.
Was it just...
So Sheila, the grandma, knocked on the door, went back to the car to finish getting stuff. So they opened the door to a baby on the doorstep. Like, what the fuck? Lisa then went to speak to Sheila to find out what was going on, why there was a baby on the doorstep. But in that time, whilst they still had no context, Carla brings the baby into the house, takes her out the car seat, and takes her coat off and is cuddling her, with absolutely no clue if the baby's there correctly, incorrectly, who. Like, it's just
like they might have stolen a baby, or they've been gifted a baby.
Yeah. Cool. I mean. All right, week 2 storyline of the week we're back to the bromance storyline.
Yeah.
But this week we're on more emphasis of Steve in the bromance.
Okay.
So Steve is the one whose dad was sick. Steve is also the one who was going to get proposed to last week. Right. So this week the proposal does not happen because as he's being walked towards where the proposal is meant to happen, which by the way is just in the middle of the street in the Cobbles in Weatherfield, he gets a phone call saying that his dad has died.
Oh.
So Steve and co then proceed to go to the Rovers, return and just drink all day, and he gets really drunk and he's really sad. But then he's also like doesn't know how to feel because it sounds like his dad was a bit of a wrong-un. I think his dad is a legacy Corrie resident, by the way people speak. People seem to know him. Right. So, he definitely is actually, because at the end of episode 1, after drinking in the pub, he gets into a bit of a fight with his new bro, the landlord of the pub, because he's had too much to drink and he's basically like, "Come on, mate, you need to go home." But the way he says it is he goes, "Come on, mate, dead dad's club is over." And he says it on the day his dad's dead. I was like, no wonder Steve. So then Steve obviously loses his shit and is like, he may have done, and lists off a load of stuff that his dad had supposedly done. He's like, he may have done all these things, but it was still my dad, you know. And I was watching it just like, how insensitive do you have to be to turn around to someone on the day their dad's died, even if your dad is dead, and go, "Yay, we're in the dead dad club." I'm just like, whoa.
Wait a day, maybe 2.
Yeah,
I could say.
But then the next day, the Tuesday, Steve goes into the pub and apologises to the landlord for his outburst. Which, I mean, his outburst was unnecessary, was extreme, but potentially not unnecessary. Like, that was completely rude.
I mean,
Anyway, so that was the bromance. They made up on the Tuesday. That was fine. They continued.
Okay.
But also, I don't know if you remember with Steve's storyline, he seems to be living with his ex-wife and his girlfriend or something.
Something like that.
So the ex-wife found out that the new girlfriend was going to propose in like Monday's episode, and then in Tuesday's episode she decides to tell Steve that his girlfriend was going to propose.
That's rude.
Yeah, but it's a bit rude, and I don't really know what her motive is. So that, put a pin in that. That's how that storyline ended.
Okay.
Cool. Storyline 3 of the week. We are on the prison ladies. Debbie and Lou, older woman, younger woman, prison, back in prison. So this one, Debbie's the older woman. She's the one who's got dementia. She's the one whose son is Big Bad Baldy. She's had a rough week, actually. She has had a rough week. It starts lovely. They're in prison. They're making little friendship bracelets because the younger one's kids are coming to visit.
Yep.
And then, so they've developed like quite a nice little friendship. Then the bully rocks up and is like, give me your bracelets. They say no, and then the younger one basically, you don't see it happen, but the younger one gets beaten up. So in the next day, she's covered in bruises. So Debbie's quite sad about that. Then Debbie gets a visit from her son, Big Bad Baldy. Basically, he's trying to get more money out of her. So this is the first one of the Corrie 5 we're chatting about today. He is trying to get more money out of his mum. Sally overhears. So Sally is a different resident. Sally overhears because she's visiting Lou, the younger one. And Sally then proceeds to tell Ronnie, Debbie's husband.
Right.
So as a result, like, Debbie loses her shit. Like, keep your nose out of my business. She then ends up crying in her cell. And into the mirror, she was like just crying, like, you know how normally if you're like crying, you'll sit on your bed, or you're, like I've never felt the need to cry and then watch myself cry in the mirror, but apparently Debbie did need to share that moment with herself.
Okay. I mean,
so then
sure.
Yeah. So we move on, and then Debbie has a TIA. So a TIA is like a stroke when you have dementia. I mean, you work in the NHS, you might know that already, but if you don't, it's like a mini stroke type thing by the sounds of it. And Lou, the younger one, decides to tell Sally to tell Ronnie because she hadn't told Ronnie, and then so she then gets mad at Lou. So basically, Debbie's had a week of just getting annoyed of people and trusting Big Bad Baldy. And having a stroke. Yeah, that wasn't ideal either.
It's a minor detail. It's fine.
Minor detail. My favourite point, though, of this whole storyline is there's a police officer who's, like, obviously a prison guard in the cell.
I hope so.
And she... Yeah, there's a few, there's her. But she is quite clearly a Downton Abbey fan because at one point Debbie's like goes to ask her for help when she finds Lou who's been beaten up. So she's like, prison guard, runs out and goes, oh no, don't worry, I'm fine actually. And the prison guard goes, it's prison, not Downton Abbey. So that's the first thing she does. And then the next time when she's in the middle of her stroke and she's like going, help, the woman goes, pipe down, Maggie Smith, I'm busy. And it took me until I was like reading it. I was like, oh, she's definitely a Downton fan. Okay. So that prison guard gets, seems
unnecessary.
Do you know, it was a highlight for me. I have never watched Downton, but I've heard it's very good. I've watched like 2 episodes. So, I'm all up for that. Yeah. I'm up for the as I said, I love a crossover. Yeah. So there we go.
The crossover we didn't know we needed. Downton and Corrie.
On to story number 4 of the week. This is the last, like, bigger story. I would actually say all the stories this week are medium stories. Okay. So there was no, like, big storyline of the week. So this storyline, we go back to Shona, David, and sister. Yeah. So we've had baby Harper that we've spoken about. She's had a big operation this week.
Okay.
So they're down at the hospital. Sister insists that everybody goes. And then Shona and David get a bit annoyed about it because they are, like, being quite annoying and sitting there and just, like... They're being supportive, but they're being annoying. Yeah. So, interesting things that happen in this storyline. Harper has the surgery and she's fine. So that's the key takeaway, and that's a good thing. Yeah. Interesting thing that happened is the sister is talking to a stranger, a lady in the hospital who's got a baby, and the lady basically claims to be Harper's mum, which was interesting. And then there's another scene, like, in that episode where David and Shona are, like, with Harper and being, like, emotional and stuff, and the sister's just staring in creepily from the window. So, yeah.
Sister, though, isn't she?
She is a bit of a creepy sister. She is one of the Corrie 5. So there's obviously a reason. She then, and this is on maybe Thursday's episode, she's talking to this lady again about being Harper's mum.
Okay.
And Shona walks in and captures her.
Oh no!
It's one of those eek moments. That is what the eek emoji was made for. Was that exact moment?
Sorry, is she Harper's mum, or is Shona?
No, Shona's Harper's mum.
Okay.
I don't know why I got mad at you then. You don't know. You don't watch it.
Could be anything, Em.
How dare you not know this information, Victoria?
Also,
we've been talking about these characters for weeks.
There's babies being shipped left, right and centre here. Anything could happen.
I mean, this Harper could end up on someone's doorstep. Who knows?
There you go. Don't act like this is a bad question.
The other thing that happens in the Shona David sister storyline this week is Lily, the other resident of this house, finds sister's box of goodies. You know, the box that has Bernie's head in it. So she finds that box.
Cut out of, not real head.
Cut out of Bernie's head. She finds that box. She finds Bernie's head. She also finds Brian's book, The Lady in White Tights.
Yep. That book.
Yeah, so that book is in there. And she questions her on it. The main thing that we're learning from this storyline by Thursday's episode is Shona and Lily are both now a bit suspicious, I would say, of the sister.
I mean, I think that's fair.
David seemed like he was a bit suspicious, but I mean, I think the two girls are going to be the most suspicious, if I'm being honest.
David,
so that's storyline. I think David's just a bit oblivious, if I'm being honest. Yeah. Okay, so that is storyline number 4 of the week. We're now going into our minis, Vic. We have 3 mini storylines of the week. 3 mini storylines of the week. The Undertaker storyline continues this week. It still hasn't earned a main story piece, but quite a lot did happen. So basically, the storyline opens on Monday with the Undertaker being upset that people are reviewing, giving the funeral directors bad reviews. Now, I personally didn't realise that we were doing TripAdvisors on funeral directors, funeral homes. So, well, who knew? So that's brand new information.
Yep.
Next time I go to a funeral, I'll remember to give them a rating out of 10.
I think you're only got 5 stars, Em. So.
Oh. Okay, that's fine. So he's upset about his reviews. Then in Tuesday's episode, he gets arrested. He gets taken down the police station for questioning on the whole fraudulent thing. He gets let go from the police station, goes to the pub to celebrate, but then finds out that Annie, the woman who is accusing him of stealing the money, is taking him to court for the money, for stealing the money. So he's back to being miserable again. That's the Undertaker storyline. Theo's back in it. Theo and Todd are back in it this week. They're only in on Thursday, hence why they're only a mini. But Theo's still being just as bad. It's his birthday coming up, but Todd has to ask him for money to buy him a present. And Theo's like, don't you have money? And we know that Theo's controlling his money, so he doesn't. Yeah. And Todd, basically, he breaks his phone this week in the most cack-handed way I've ever seen someone break their phone. Like, he goes to be dropping his laptop and then drops his phone. Now, I have dropped my phone from greater heights and it has not smashed. So my recommendation is don't get an Android, because if they smash that easily, it's not worth it. No. But hey ho.
But cheaper to
replace. Yes. Well, so then he ends up selling some cufflinks from a guy who died in the Corridale episode.
Okay.
And so he's got £270. So in that, he needs to buy a new phone, or get the screen replaced. He needs to get new shoes. He needs to take his boyfriend out for a birthday dinner and buy his boyfriend a present.
Yep.
Now, we're in a cost of living crisis, and I can tell you, 270 quid, that's, especially an abusive boyfriend, he's not going to be settling for a £20 present. And then, we've got one more mini storyline, and this is so mini, I almost didn't mention it. Okay. But I feel like what I've learnt from my few months of watching Corrie is that the smaller the storyline, the more likely it is to evolve into something later down the line.
Yeah.
So we have this little storyline where there are 2 factory workers that are in the pub. There's a factory in Weatherfield. I don't know if we've spoken about that. So there's a factory in Weatherfield that makes underwear. It's called Underworld.
Yeah. You have told me about the underwear factory.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So there's 2 workers from Underworld that are in the pub having a few drinks for at lunch.
Is that the name of it?
And then Underworld, yeah. It's great, isn't it? I know. It's so good.
You never told me the name before. Just that it makes underwear.
I didn't want to bamboozle you with too much information, Victoria.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
So they go to the pub for like drinks over lunch, and then they basically end up skiving off work and just staying and having a bit of a sesh.
Yep.
And the fact that that was even in there for a second made me think that there's going to be something that comes out of this storyline. I don't know. That's just what I've been seeing so far. So I'm adding that in. We will see.
Okay.
I don't think anything happens unintentionally in Coronation Street.
I think you might be right, Maybe the factory's going to burn down.
Exactly.
Where will everyone get their underwear from?
Who knows?
Who knows?
Now, also, one little observation I'd like to make this week, because it's relevant to the rest of the episode, is there was a lot more from a woman called Mary Taylor this week. Is it Mary Taylor? Is that her name? Yeah, Mary Taylor. And so I thought she was a B character through the rest of the rest of the episodes I've seen. She was the one last week who was like, our bodies are elemental, like wind and fire or whatever it was. She's been in quite a few stories. Like, she was in the bromance storyline. She was in the Swala storyline. She's in the Undertaker storyline. She's had like a tiny little part in all of these storylines. So although she's not been mentioned specifically because she's not part of it, she has been across the week quite a big player. Okay. And I feel like she needs a little shout out this week.
Yep.
So there we go. Alrighty, Vic, let's move on. We're moving on to the Coronation Street Stats Report.
Woo. Probably the best part.
This is the part. This is the part you know and love.
Yeah.
We've got numbers. We've got tally charts. We've got percentages. All the things that we know and love.
All the important fun facts.
All the important fun facts. Where should we start this week? Let's start with we've got a lot of 2s actually this week. So we're going to start with a load of 2s. Our 2s go to villain energy, 2 counts of villain energy. Suspicious behaviour, 2 counts. I think that's because I'm becoming immune to the suspicious behaviour. Whoa. Secrets, 2. I'm going to start with the 2s there, and I'm going to go into conversations in public was only 2 this week. Okay. With the conversations in public that should have happened at home.
Yep.
Was only 2. So that's, there's a bit of improvement there. I think the Weatherfield lot are learning to be a bit more discreet. Yeah.
That's no fun, Emily.
I know. We had 2 counts of Fancy a Brew.
Okay.
But the most important 2 count that we have got this week, Victoria.
Yep.
The most important one, the Don't Be Daft scale tally. We have got 2 counts of Don't Be Daft this week, which, by the way, is 2.27% of the entire week, which, by the way, is a 1.36% increase week on week for the Don't Be Daft scale.
I mean, I'm so glad I know that. I just can't believe you actually did the math.
I'm so glad I worked that out. Then we've got number of gasps this week. We have got 3 audible gasps.
Okay.
Number of arguments and storm outs. We have got 4, which actually that was a 2.72% reduction from last week.
Okay.
So it has been a bit of a calmer week.
Yeah.
And I should add that my percentages are done on episodes of the week. I have done this correctly. I am an accountant. Okay.
Just to clarify, the math
Just
is
to clarify. The math is correct. And the biggest one of the week, with a whopping... In fact, how many laugh out loud moments do you think there were this week, Victoria?
Well, you said what's her face from Swala was quite funny. Swala? Did I say that right?
Yep. Yeah.
So, 4 episodes. I'm going to say 6 laugh out loud moments.
16 laugh out loud moments, which was 18%, which was a 2% reduction on last week. And actually, I will say the Wednesday episode wasn't quite as funny. It definitely wasn't as funny as last week. Last week, the writers had it spot on, but this week we're on 18%, and I'm happy with that.
I mean, that's pretty good going for a quiet week.
Right, we are moving swiftly on because we have a couple extra segments to get through this week. So we are moving on to the awards. This is what I like to call the Coronation Street Awards. So we have got the villain of the week this week. Our three options are Sister, Tracy Barlow, and Theo. Theo, abuser. Sister, don't know what's going on there. Something is not right in that camp. Tracy Barlow, not sure why she's shit stirring. And also, so the award is going to Tracy Barlow because Tracy Barlow is oozing villain energy this week, but I don't know why. So Tracy Barlow is getting the award.
So you're just a bit confused by her.
I'm just a bit confused by her because Theo, I think, he was only in the last episode of the week. We know he's a villain. He's one of the Corrie Five.
Yeah.
But Tracy Barlow she had that little twinkle in her eye that said to me, villain. You know?
Well, congratulations, Tracy Barlow.
Yeah. MVP of the week, Vic. We got MVP of the week, most valued player. We've had this for a couple of weeks now. I'm quite liking this award. I'm enjoying it greatly. We have 3 possible candidates this week, which is the most we've had for the MVP. We've got the prison guard who loves Downton Abbey, which she's not a main player at all. But I just absolutely loved the energy that she brought to Coronation Street this week, and her sass and her acting was on point. Prison guard.
Because they're saying something for Corrie.
Vic, don't be like that, please. There is some exceptional acting in Coronation Street. I'm not going to lie. Okay. Number two of most valued player is Connie Connor. Number 1, oh poor kid, Connie Connor. Number 2, yes, baby. Vic. Yes, the baby. Okay. Because do you know what? She was pretty cute and she managed to cry on cue. I'm sure nothing was done in the edit. I'm sure that was her baby crying. She managed to laugh on cue. She coughed on cue. Like, as I said, I do not think that was added in post-production. I think that baby can act.
Okay, sure.
And the final MVP was Mary Taylor, because she was across 3 storylines, albeit as a bit part in all of them, but actually adding something to every single storyline. So, I mean, I was going to let you pick this one. I'm going to let you pick this one, but there is only one right answer. So well, let's hope you get it.
I mean, I ain't picking the baby. Just putting that out there. That baby did nothing. I was going to pick...
You're wrong, but you'd know if you watched it.
Okay, fine. I'm going to pick Mary Taylor.
Yes, that is the correct answer.
Yeah. Unless you had told me the prison guard was donned in Downton Abbey attire, then that would have been great.
Excellent.
But...
Would have been excellent. You'll be pleased to know, maybe you won't be pleased to know, there was no ick of the week this week, Vic.
I am pleased to know.
Nothing grossed me out.
Oh, good.
You are pleased to know. Yeah. There was, however, a cringe of the week.
Okay.
So the cringe of the week was when Shona walked in on her sister saying that she was Harper's mother. And oh my God, Vic, it literally made my whole body tense because I was like, this is so awkward. Like I hid behind my hands, just like, I can't watch this. It was so like cringy. Yeah, and like the sister managed to talk her way out of it, but it was still like that moment where you're like, oh, how are you going to get out of this? Because you're just saying that you're the mother of this. Oh, it was not okay.
No, that's weird.
Okay, and then we've got one final award, which is called my personal favourite moment of the week, and we have 3 options. Number 1 is when the man walks in with the pram and says, I've got something for you, and Carla says, not another one, as in another baby. That was funny, it made me laugh. Yep. Number 2 is with the rating of The Undertaker. I'm like, who does that? But it just made it, yeah, cool. Number 3, which I haven't talked about so far, and I think this may strike debate. David and Shona are talking about their surgeon for Harper, and their surgeon is from down south, and basically they're talking about sending him a gift, and they decide that they'll send him a pie because we don't have pies down south, apparently. We're famously known down south for not having pies. Oh. Now, funnily enough, this guy, so they're planning on sending him a cheese and onion pie. And I know, because it was in like January, just after Corrie, that this surgeon was in it. And this surgeon is from Bristol. I live in Bristol. Bristol famously has a pie shop called Pie Minister. Yeah. So we have pies. There is no pie shortage down south. I'm not 100. Do you think this is like the cliches that they get like oh, poor guys down south, they don't even have pies.
No. Who knew?
I know, and then I was like trying to think about what northern stereotypes we have, and apart from them saying duck all the time, I don't really think I've got any stereotypes for up north. But apparently, we don't eat pie.
I'm so sad. I love pie.
I love pie. And then I thought, do we only eat pies because our family are northern? Is that why? Like, maybe. Is this just an us thing? And I was like, no, I'm pretty sure. Like, I have a friend who lived in Cornwall who used to eat a pie. Yeah. So I don't think it's because we've got northern family.
I do think pies are now nationwide, but do correct me if I'm wrong and you don't know what a pie is.
I mean, thank God for the internet, because before that, maybe pies did not exist down south.
I mean, maybe that's why we get those stupid pies with just the pastry on top.
Because we don't know how to really make a pie.
We don't know what a pie is. We've gone, that's a pie.
That'll do. We'll just put some pastry on top of that.
Near enough.
Near enough. I mean, those are shit pies,
to be fair. Shit pies.
But in that storyline, David is talking about that when they're talking about sending down the pie, and then David goes, "Do you not think it's quite aggressively northern to send down a pie?" I was like, that's so funny. Imagine if the North just collectively decided to insult the South by sending them pies.
I will gladly take a pie in the post. I love pies.
I would happily be a recipient of an aggressively northern action.
Absolutely.
It was sending me pie. And then Cornwall could retaliate by sending up Cornish pasties.
Yeah. We have nothing.
And I'll just be in Bristol getting fat, eating a lot.
Just getting both. Just like, great.
Intercepting the post. Yeah. So purely for this conversation alone, the winner of the favourite moment of the week award goes to David and Shona for aggressively sending pies down south. Well
Absolutely.
Done. Well done. Okay, Vic. I just realised that I've told a lie and we have only got one new segment because one was a new segment last week, and that is Last Orders. So... Ching ching, if you didn't listen last week, if you haven't listened before, if you just happen to have stumbled on this on some form of social media and wonder what the hell we're going on about, Last Orders is the segment of the show where I take a character from Coronation Street that's been in it this week and I decide, with numerous scales and ratings, whether I would go to the pub with them and how long I would stay for. It's very technical. It's how I like to make most decisions on my life is, would I go for a pint with you? And today... on Last Orders, we have got Mary Taylor.
Okay.
So I've already told you a bit about big player. So what I've told you so far on Mary Taylor, with the comments from last week and this week, what are your thoughts on Mary Taylor?
I personally, at the moment, wouldn't go to the pub with her. I think she's good at getting in everyone's business, but she's very much in the background of everyone's business. So would we be able to have a conversation at a pub? I don't know.
Yeah, and I will agree. I think there's an element where she could probably potentially come across as a bit beige.
Yeah.
But some of her comments are quite good. She's quite wise, I would say. She certainly has that vibe. So I'm going to go through the ratings. Okay. I'm going to go through the ratings. So small talkability, I've given her 5 pints out of 5.
Okay.
And the reason why is because she's not got deep in any of these... storyline she's been in. She's just kind of drifted across the top talking to all of them, so I think she would be able to have a good chat. I don't know if it would be good bants, but I think she could have a good chat.
Okay.
So I'm going to give her 5 out of 5. I think the conversation would flow.
Yeah.
Drama risk, I'm giving her a 1 out of 5. She doesn't seem to be bringing the drama, she doesn't seem to be giving the drama.
That is true.
So yeah. Gossip value, also a 1 point out of 5. Again, she doesn't. I think she gets the gossip. I don't think she shares the gossip.
Yeah.
And she isn't the gossip. So I'm going to give her a 1 out of 5, which basically the vibes check for her is a 3 out of 5.
Yeah.
Because although I think the conversation would flow, I don't think it would be banty. I don't think it'd be that fun. There would be no, what do you know about this situation? And gossip's always a little bit fun. So, you know, I feel like it would be a 3 out of 5. I actually feel like my 3 out of 5 might be a bit generous, but we're going to go 3 out of 5. We're going to go 2.5. Oh yeah, let's go 2.5. Yeah. And then a second drink probability. I have said a yes.
Okay.
I've said a yes. And I've said I would stay for 2 drinks. And I think that she strikes me as the kind of friend that you'd probably go out for once a month for a drink with, when you've like kind of tapped out all your other social circles and you're like, oh, I just want to go for a pint. And I think you'd go for a couple, because I do think you'd be able to make the convo. I think it would be a lovely evening. I think it'd be very quaint and lovely. I think she'd give some very wise prophecies. I personally feel like she is the oracle of the Cobbles.
Okay.
So that is my view of Mary, oracle of the Cobbles. 2.5 out of 5. Yes, I would go for a drink. I would stay for 2. I'll be home in bed before the 3rd.
Home by 10.
Right, Vic, it is time now for our brand new segment. Who is on the Cobbles? Now, as we've established, I've only been watching Coronation Street since January, which means my Corrie knowledge is basically vibes and enthusiasm. But this week, we've recruited someone with a bit more experience. Our friend, Legacy Lauren, is a former long-time Corrie viewer who drifted away but has now been pulled back by this podcast. This week, Lauren has sent us a voice note with a fact, a bit of history, or some juicy gossip about someone or some people from Coronation Street. But she doesn't tell us who it's about. So, Vic, you and I should say, I've not listened to these, you and I have to listen and try and figure out who on the Cobbles she is talking about.
Okay, so just to confirm, person who's been watching Corrie for 5 minutes, person who's never watched Corrie, now has to be detectives to figure out who's in Corrie.
That is correct.
Okay, cool. This feels like a terrible plan, but let's go with it.
Okay, Vic, let's hear from Legacy Lauren. It's time to play Who's on the Cobbles?
Ding, 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 ding.
All right. I have been married 6 times to 5 different men, one of whom was a notorious serial killer who tried to drive my family into the Weatherfield Canal. Who am I?
I know who this is.
I actually think I think you know who this is too.
Yeah.
Who is it, Vic?
It's David's mum.
It's Gail Platt, I reckon. Right, should we go straight into the answer?
Yeah.
Okay, so it is Gail Platt, who has been married 6 times to 5 different men. She married Brian Tilsley twice. He was the dad of Nick and of Sarah.
Wait.
Hang on. Who's Nick?
That's what I was going to say. And also, does that mean Sarah and David aren't brother and sister? Half brother and sister?
Yeah. They must be half brother and sister.
This is brand new.
This is brand new. This is brand new information. I actually do know who Nick is. So Nick is in it.
Okay.
He's like this older man, but I would have said he's quite a bit older than them. But maybe it's just because he's let his hair go grey and the others haven't, and that's how you can tell when someone's older.
That's true.
Mind blown. Should we do another?
Yeah.
Okay.
I have been on the street since the very first episode. Who am I?
It's got to be Rita, surely.
That's where I was going, purely based on age.
Yeah, I mean, this started in the 60s.
And she's 93 now, so...
She's 93. I think there might be someone else in it who's a bit older as well, but he hasn't really... I'm not sure. Someone asked me if a character was in it still. Actually, let's just stick with Rita. She's the only one I can think of that's old enough to have been in it since the beginning. Unless, of course, someone came in it as a baby and has stayed. So we're looking for someone in their 60s. But I feel like that's quite a commitment to have been put into it as a baby.
still be there.
and then grown and still be in it. And I feel like that person would be so well known. Maybe they wouldn't.
I mean, not by us.
Not by us, no, you're right. I can't think of anyone in their 60s who would have still been in it. I have to go Rita.
She's the only old character I know.
Yeah. Okay, let's go Rita. Let's go.
Ken Barlow has been on the Cobbles since the very first episode.
What?
Okay.
I know the name Ken Barlow.
I know the name Ken Barlow, but I have not seen a Ken Barlow in it. Now, at Rita's birthday party the other week, there was an older man who I'm pretty sure is Ken Barlow, who was the person I was thinking about a minute ago.
Okay.
But he's not, I would argue he's not in it currently, because I have not seen him say anything. But I don't want to also take that away from him, because he's obviously a beloved member of the Corrie team. Okay, we're going to go on to clue number 3.
Who knows?
My love life has been so complicated that I've been involved with more than 10 women on the street, including 2 different mother-daughter pairs.
Sorry, what?
Who am I?
I'm sorry. Who?
What?
Oh, mother-daughter pairs.
Who?
Right, hang on, let's think about
2 different mother-daughter pairs.
Okay, let's think about who we know. So,
No one.
Steve Broman. Steve, I don't think it's Steve, but he is living with his ex-wife and his girlfriend, so maybe
Is his
Steve?
mother in it?
Not that I've... No, it's not his mother.
It's one of the girls' mothers in there?
Oh, I see your point. I mean, if she is, I don't know who she is. Okay, so I'm gonna rule out Steve. Who are our other guys? David Platt, but he seems like he's been with Shona for quite some time.
Yeah.
And he doesn't really have much game, I would say, but he clearly does, because he's got his sister and the sister. Shona and the sister are both kind of lusting after him.
Is that Roy? Is Roy a character?
Oh my god, I would love it if it was Roy.
Could it be Roy?
I don't know. He's currently single, and if he was that much of a Lothario, surely he would have
How old
someone
is he?
on the
Maybe
go. He's
He's
older. He's definitely older. Maybe it's Roy. It could be Roy. We've famously got Dev of Dev and Bernie.
Yeah. Crazy Dev. Not crazy Dev.
It's like kind of icky Dev.
Yeah.
And he is a bit of a Lothario, but I mean, equally, not sure if I think that. I think we go with Roy.
I like Roy.
I like Roy, and he's a nice guy. He deserves 10 women on the street.
And 2 mother-daughter combos.
And 2 mother-daughter combos. Okay, I'm going to play it. I don't know who. I think we're going to be surprised by whoever it is.
Yeah.
Shockingly, Dev has been romantically involved with more than 10 women. And that's just more than 10 women on the street. Like, there are references to him being involved with plenty of other women not on the street. And one of the mother-daughter pairs, who you will know because they're one of them's current, is Tracy and Deirdre Barlow.
Sorry, what? So Tracy and Tracy and Deirdre Barlow, as in like Ken Barlow's wife and his daughter. Or...
I don't know, Vic.
Okay,
it could be Ken Barlow's daughter. I don't know.
Okay, cool. I just kind of
Tracy-
assumed there was quite an age gap there. Is there not?
So I don't have the words.
I never pictured Deb being not a romantic. That's not the right word. A ladies' man.
He's icky. He's the one who said 2 lips for tulips or whatever.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is he got mad at Bernie because she kissed Mel, which, okay, they're together. But it sounds like he's a bit of a player.
Yeah.
I don't understand how, because personally I find him quite cringy. But he's been around.
He's clearly been around.
I can't... 10! And 2 mother-daughter combos. Like...
Who is sleeping with this man?
And that, I think, is where we leave it. Okay, we're moving on, Vic.
Yep.
This is the part of the show, the final part of the show. Let's wrap this show up with the Corrie Conversion Scale.
Uh-oh.
Last week you were on a 0.5. I feel like this week, especially with Lauren's contribution and other storylines which I think have been fantastic, I feel like you may be about to go up. So let's get the drum roll in. Let's see. 0.5. Where are you at? Vic, tell us. Go.
Oh God. It has been a week. I did like the backstories. I found them quite fun.
Yes.
Am I invested in the current stories? That's yet to be seen. But I will give you a score of 1.
Yes, we're finally in single digits. We're in whole digits. Oh, okay. It's only taken 4 weeks to get here. But considering we started at a -5 four mere weeks ago, I am very happy with our 1 point. Only 9 to go.
Seems like a stretch right now.
Thanks for listening to this week's episode of Why Won't You Watch Corrie? If you liked what you listened and you want to hear more, well, there is no more actually, it's in the episode, but if you want to just, keep on top of us, no, that sounds weird.
Please don't. Please don't keep on top of us.
If you want to keep in touch with what's going on, go over to our socials. We're on Insta and TikTok. And if you want to message us about the podcast, have some Corrie information, Corrie tidbits, Corrie gossip, Corrie lore, Corrie links that you think we should know or discuss on any episode of the podcast, email us on whywon'tyoutwatch@gmail.com. Thank you to Victoria for begrudgingly joining me yet again for another week's episode, and thanks to Lauren for listening, for starting to watch Coronation Street and sending us some brilliant gossips from the street. Until next week, we are Emily and Victoria.